Greetings and salutations, friends. My name is, of course, Charles Q. Banks. I would like to welcome you back to another discussion video in black and white. And today I kind of want to talk about sort of an abstract series of thoughts that I would like to just mull over with you in our time together here in this video. So what I've been thinking about is human relationships in regards to internet personalities. I obviously am an internet personality, at least trying to be one. But, I'm not a super popular internet personality. I have a small group of people on Twitch and on YouTube, basically the same size on each platform, that watch me and are interested in what I have to say. And a lot of that has to do with me being personable, more with me being amicable, I guess, than necessarily the things that I talk about. Because there are a lot of people that watch my videos whenever I talk about something super popular. Like, I don't know, if I were to talk about Avengers, more people would watch that. Games like Apex Legends, when I talk about that, I got tons of views, hundreds, in fact. And it always comes down to the type of thing I am talking about, but the people that stay, the people that follow or subscribe, are always the people that stay for me. And, you want to hear something that you're interested in either way. Even if you like me, you won't always listen to me if you're talking about something you're not interested in. So that's all obvious, right? But what I've been thinking about is the fact that, of course, I am a niche person. I would say that's a pretty good way of saying it, and a very honest and accurate way of telling people who I am and what I am, is saying that I am into niche things and appeal to niche personalities and subcategories of genres and interests. And, many people are like that, and they will only ever appeal to a small number of people. You could I'm not trying to justify the smallness of my channel, and that is very easy to be done. There are a lot of things I could be doing to appeal to a broader audience, but I choose not to do them, because I don't want to. I want to be a niche person. I want people like me, people like myself, who are into the very more obscure things. They're not always obscure. People that are into things that I'm into, I want to reach out to them, put myself out there so that they can see me and come to me and interact with me in some way, shape, or form. Our values come together, and we can relate on the basis of our common interests, and hopefully, change the world in our image, right? That is the point of doing basically anything on the internet, is to make yourself known, make your opinions known, make your status known, so that people can come to you and receive something from you that you are trying to give them. And what you get in return is a changed world, and maybe even a career out of it. Most people do just try to make a career out of it, but 9 times out of 10, 99%.999 of people, when asked what their dreams are for YouTube or Twitch, it's usually a much more grandiose thing than, oh, I like games and I want to make money doing what I like. Usually there's something a little bit more to it. I want people to be influenced positively. I want people to be like me. I want people to be inspired by me. I want to show how good I am. I want to, get into a higher stratum of gaming than I am in now by being on the internet and doing it live. It's always to influence, to impact in one way or another, some way. And so people are doing this. People are doing it actively, aggressively, some more aggressively than others. I generally don't like to be too aggressive in my approach, because I myself am put off by that when people are just really aggressive and really marketing themselves hard. Of course, now I'm in the position where I have to market myself hard, or else I cannot continue doing what I do. you know, to check out my GoFundMe campaign. So anyway, I get turned off when people go into that angle really hard and shill themselves and all that sort of thing. It really turns me off. I understand it. It's capitalism and that works and it's good to a certain degree. And you know, you got to do what you got to do. And but I won't search out people and stay with them if that's what they're constantly showing that they're into, that monetary gain is more important than the audience or the topic that they're going for. So shifting gears a little bit, when it comes to me interacting with other online personalities, I am seeing that because of the expansion of the internet, the expansion of YouTube, um, you know, a lot of vloggers, a lot of people just streaming, just chatting, you know, on Twitch, some justifiable and legitimate, others illegitimate. um, but there's so much talking going on, and I love talking. I always have. I love conversing with people one on one. Generally, I don't like conversing in groups because there's less of a personal feeling. You'll always get run over, and you'll always run over people in your speech if there are multiple people there because you want everyone to have their time, to have their day in court in a normal conversation, a simple 3-person, 5-person conversation. And then beyond that, it basically becomes speaker and audience. And so there's a huge gap between those things. And being someone who speaks to an audience on, at least on Twitch, there are people that I can talk to one-on-one, even though there's a huge audience, you know, that I'm actually speaking to. Of course, for me, it's generally not more than 10 people. That's on the high end so far. I want to get more, but that's how it is. And so it's a very different dynamic than even an actual teacher and student dynamic, or a like a preacher and audience, or speaker and their audience. Usually, you cannot, from the pulpit or from the stage, speak to individuals in the audience in a way that they can actually respond. Now you can with the internet, and it's a strange reality that we live in, and it will become stranger, and it will always be strange. At least to me, at least to people from our age range. You know, I'm someone who I feel like I'm in between the Generation X and Generation Z. I mean, Generation Y and Generation Z. I don't really feel like I can really mesh with any generation myself, and maybe that's an indicator of what generation I'm from. But anyway, uh, there's this sense that we can communicate to people, or at least receive from people, that we would have never become friends with. Because usually, if you're talking to someone and they're saying something you dislike, you can just say, okay, thanks, you know, I'll think about that, or shut down the conversation and say, okay, bye, turn around, walk away. You don't ever have to talk to them again. With internet personalities, their videos are coming out weekly, daily, sometimes. It's pretty rare, but not these days anymore, not anymore. Doing things every day is pretty par for the course if you want it to actually be a career. Monthly, you know, people like JonTron doing it like 3 times a year, 3 videos a year. It's ridiculous, and still making tons of money because he's partnered with a bunch of big companies and corporations. But so it's like you can listen to these people and disagree with a lot of what they say and still get something out of it. And based on what you agree with, as opposed to what you disagree with them about, you can still support them because you're getting at least something out of it. So this is what I've been trying to get at through this whole spiel. I hope I've gotten to some interesting little tidbits here and there. I didn't expect to, but that's why this helps. It helps me think about things, and it helps you to think about things, hopefully, as well. But, you know, there are so many people I follow on YouTube so many people that I watch on Twitch who are far and away what I would ever be drawn to in real, quote unquote, real life, because the internet is now real life, but in person to person relationships. It's like, yeah, I might like the fact that Lobos Jr. has a medieval, shirt on, or that he has Dark Souls on his shirt, but he's not a Christian. He's not in my political sphere, as far as I know it. He doesn't like to talk about politics. All these different things that we totally disagree with, yet I watch hours and hours and hours of him playing Dark Souls and playing difficult games, or just any game, really, because it feels calming when I'm watching him. So it's like I'm supporting a guy who has beliefs absolutely contrary to my own. And I think that's something that, I've always been trying to be a true tolerance pusher, I guess, a supporter of true, honest tolerance towards everyone at a baseline. That should be how you think about everyone. Everyone should be respected to the same degree. And then if you see more activity that is negative than positive, then that respect may dwindle a little bit, but there's still a baseline of respect that all humans maybe not deserve, but that all humans should get. Not based on their actions, but based on them being human beings. Okay? This very basic idea of human value, right? And so I take that a little further and I say, well, a person may disagree with me about something, but the amount to which they are disagreeing with me doesn't really matter so long as it doesn't become violent or illegal. So I can train myself to be patient, because even most of the time when people say really offensive things, and I say most of the time because it does actually happen, when people say offensive things that seem offensive to you, it's just because it seems offensive to you. You are constantly interpreting what people are saying in your mind based on how you yourself think. And so when someone says something offensive to you, or that sounds offensive to you, you're thinking, oh, because it's offensive to me because the logic of that thought leads to this, according to me. But the problem is that what that person may have been getting at may have been contrary to what you thought they were getting at. Again, a very simple thing said in a really overly complex way. But, these things happen all the time. And so if you just were to listen to someone a little bit longer, a little bit more, they might actually be more reasonable than you think they are. And that's what is good about being able to watch YouTube videos is and see people's lives through YouTube videos and these things, is that you can see a through line of truth, that this person may be saying this, but they actually believe this. Or this person may be saying something that's borderline offensive, but they don't actually believe it. They may just be saying it for a joke. And in real life, that joke may be completely offensive and inappropriate. But online, if you can see through it, they're actually not being inappropriate at all. So you can appreciate the person divorced from what they're saying, even though most of the content in the video is what they're saying. It is a verbal medium, YouTube, as well as being visual. But the visuals are somehow becoming less and less important. It's basically just supplementary a lot of the time to a simple podcast. People are coming out with more and more videos like mine that are just a person talking, or a person talking with visuals that represent what they're talking about, or well, that's basically it, or a combination of the two. Those are the types of videos I watch, and those are what I'm talking about. So it's just a strange thing being who I am. Like, again, 20 years ago, 10 years ago even, if I were to see some of the videos of the people I regularly watch back then, I would have been completely intolerant, would not have given the time of day to those people or their videos because of how offensive they seemed to me at the time. Now, I realize all these different types of people, good, bad, and ugly, are putting their videos on YouTube, and generally every single one of them has a tidbit of truth, a grain of truth or of goodness in them that we can get something good out of. Some less, and some more. And so the prioritization of time is definitely, I think, the main factor in who we listen to. It's like, and definitely the title, the content, the context. But like for a lot of videos, you may click a title and not really get out what you expected to from the video according to that title, but you get something good out of it. And so you continue watching that person because you're getting something good out of it. Does that make sense? I mean, I think we all do this, but it's a very odd thing to kind of realize that I've been so changed by the way that the internet works that I'm now basically having a friendship in my own mind that doesn't exist in real life with all of these different YouTubers and with all of these different internet personalities who I may not even like in real life. But I guess another thing is it's beneficial to watch all these different people that have slightly different or incredibly different opposing opinions and positions to mine, because it will make being friends with people like that in real life actually easier. So yeah, I don't really have a whole lot more to say on this. It was very abstract, and I didn't really know what I was going to say beforehand. Let me know what you thought of this, because I don't know what I think of this either. It's just basically a stream of consciousness podcast with visuals. Let me know what you think about that as well. So thanks for watching. Until next time, farewell.